and the ones that I recommend in this video are the ones I personally use. Now, you don't have to use these, I just highly recommend them, and you'll see why as we get started. So step one in this tutorial, if you're new to print on demand and you're thinking about getting started, is we need to come up with a niche. Now, essentially what a niche is a topic or a very specific thing that you're going to be creating designs about. Now, by doing niche research in the beginning, we can find out what topics and what niches out there in print on demand do not have a lot of competition. When you're starting out in print on demand, it's not going to make sense for you to go into those very competitive topics because your new listings as you're creating them are just going to get lost in the thousands of other listings in that topic. So what I recommend to you in order to get your first few sales pretty quickly for that Teespring Trust Score is to do research and find niches that do not have a lot of competitors. Now, the goal here is to find a niche that has a lot of search volume, so people are looking for it. However, there are not a lot of listings out there, so there aren't many options for people to choose from. What this means for us is, as a new seller, we can come in and we can create a lot of great designs in this topic, and then as those same people come every month and they're looking for those designs in that niche, they will see more options that they can choose from, and the majority of them are going to be yours. This increases your chance of getting them to buy one of your listings because as they're scrolling through the options of what they can buy, a ton of those options are made by you. So with that said, let's switch over to the computer for the first time here and go into the first tool that's going to help us research niches. So this is the first tool that we're going to be using here. It's called Merch Informer, and essentially what we need to do is either register for free or if you already have an account, just log in. Now, before we get into this tool, quickly I want to show you the pricing of it if you don't have an account already. To use this tool, it's about $10 per month, and I do have a discount code from them down in the description. So if you want to use that, it comes down to about $8 per month. And they do offer a free trial, so if you are just getting started in this, they have a 3-day free trial. It gives you full function. However, this is a tool that you're going to want to keep around long term because as you're thinking about creating new designs in the future, it's really good to find out if those niches are worth your time. So again, the link to this to bring it down to about $8 per month is down in the description. So if you want to click that to go over and follow along, feel free to do that. You can even create a free trial from that link. And now once you're logged in, there are a bunch of tools that come with Merch Informer, but what we are going to be using is the competition checker on the left side here. So once you're here, essentially all you have to do is type in the niches that you are considering going into, and it'll tell you if that is a good idea or a bad idea. So before this video, I did a little bit of preliminary research just so I wouldn't waste your time here, and I found a good niche to go into and a bad one as an example, and then also a pointer that I can give to you. So in this search, I searched high school graduate, and as you can see on the right side, we have an A grade. Now, once you start doing searches on here, you will see that the grades go from A to F, and there are grades in between. It's just going to show you how good of a niche this is to go into. Now, something else that's very important to understand is that the data being pulled from Merch Informer, the data that we see on the sides and this grade, and a little bit more that I'll show you in a second, is being pulled from Merch by Amazon. Now, as I said before, there's 3 platforms we're using: Teespring, Redbubble, and Merch by Amazon. Merch by Amazon is the biggest one. They get roughly 2 billion views per month. So the data that is being pulled here is from Merch by Amazon specifically. Now, it is safe to assume that the data is the same for Teespring and Redbubble. That's what I personally do, and I recommend it to you. The reason I say that and the reason that I like using Merch Informer is because 1, it's going to give you a quick result of whether this is a good or a bad niche to go into, just looking at this letter grade. And 2, the other research tools out there for niches take data from the entire internet. They're going to take search data rather than print on demand data. With the data in Merch Informer, we're getting it specifically from Merch by Amazon. The other niche research tools you'll find out there are taking into account everything that is searched on Google and throughout the internet. It's not specific to print on demand. So getting back to this, the one that we're going to use for this example is high school graduate. It gives us a good grade, shows you how many people we're competing with, how many of those have bestseller ranks, meaning that they're selling well. And then something else that's pretty cool about this tool is when you scroll down, you can see the top 10 best-selling designs in this niche currently on Merch by Amazon. This will give you some ideas, so if you want to create designs similar to these or just use it to get some creativity juices flowing, this is a good place to do that. So a couple pointers I can pass on to you when you start using Merch Informer are that when you're searching for a phrase that is more than one word, as you can see, this is high school graduate, put quotation marks around it. Now, if you don't and you search it like this, you're going to get an improper rating because it's pulling the keywords separately. So be sure you don't make this mistake, and if you're searching a phrase that has more than one word, put quotations around it. The other tip I can pass on to you is make sure that you're searching for a niche that is specific enough. This is high school graduate rather than graduate. This is also more specific than searching something like dogs. Now, since this is a single word, we don't need quotation marks around it. However, it's just way too general, and there are way too many products that we're competing against that if we start uploading in it, our listings are just going to get lost. So with that in mind, we have officially used Merchant Former. We know what niche we are going to be starting with, and this way our designs that we were creating in the beginning have a good chance of being sold because there are people looking for it and not a lot of options to be bought. Alright, so now that we have our niche figured out where we are going to start, now we need to start creating designs in that niche. We'll start out by creating just one so I can show you how this is done, and then just know that once you know how to do this process, you'll be creating as many designs as you can. Just make sure that they are good designs. Given the design tool we are going to be using makes it easy to create these designs. I don't personally have graphic design experience. I haven't had graphic design experience over the last few years that I've been doing this, but using a good design tool makes it easy. With that said, let's go over to the design tool so we can start creating designs around this high school graduate niche. So this is the design tool that I recommend you use. There's a link to it down in the description. It's called placeit.net. This one goes about $15 per month, but again, they gave me a discount code I can share with you. That's down in the description as well. They don't have a free trial that you can use, but by using the link in the description, it brings it from about $15 down to about $12 per month. This tool, placeit.net, and the other tool, Merchant Former, are the only two tools that you need. It's just finding your niches and creating good designs. The rest of it is basically rinse and repeat. You're just going to keep doing that over and over. Throughout this tutorial, I'll explain that a bit more. So essentially all we have to do is type into the search bar what we are looking for. So I know we're looking for high school graduate, but we have to keep in mind high school graduate is very specific. So if we start typing that in for t-shirt designs made specifically for high school graduates, it's going to give us only the results that are specifically for that. However, if we type in something like graduate or we type in something like education even bigger, we're going to get a lot of t-shirt design templates that we could potentially use and browse through. Most of the time you'll find something that's in the education category over on Placeit could perfectly be used for a specific niche of high school graduate. So with that said, I'm going to start by typing in graduation and we'll see where that goes from here. So once you've typed it in, you can go through kind of the suggestions here. I'm just going to go with graduation. And this is going to show us t-shirt designs mixed in with social media post templates and even mock-ups. We will be coming back to some of these things a little bit later on in this tutorial, but stick around, I'll get to it as quickly as possible. So on the left side, we're going to come down and we're going to go to t-shirt design. Now, as you can see, graduation is a little bit specific here, so they do have just 17 templates for us to choose from. You'll find with some niches there are thousands. I think Placeit has over 40,000 templates to choose from, but as we are getting niche specific, in some cases it limits how many they have to offer. So just be creative with what you're searching for. I'm going to switch this search to education and see how many more we can get. And when you do a search up top after you've already done a search, just make sure that you turn off search within results, and that'll give you even more. We'll just click enter here. And we'll come back over to the left side and we'll switch this to t-shirt designs. We have 43 to choose from. So as you can see, as you get more creative, you have more designs to choose from. So these are all designs that we can customize for t-shirts. And I'll show you how to do that. First, we just need to pick one to start with. So I'm going to start with this one right here. Happy Graduation Day. I think this would be perfect for a high schooler. And keep in mind who we are making these designs for. In this specific niche of high school graduation, it's not likely going to be a high school graduate buying the shirt for themselves. This is going to be a parent or a grandparent or a friend, somebody purchasing a shirt for the graduate, and it would be given to them as a gift. So with that said, here's a template that we can start customizing. We can move things around. If we want to go back, we just hit reset layout. We can change all of this text to say anything you want. You can put in extra text if you like. And then you can even change the font of it. So if we click the down arrow, we can switch it to anything that we like. So I kind of like that new font that we just switched it to, so I'm going to switch the other one as well. And then should we need to change the color of the text, we can change that with this drop down over here. And then if we want to add more text, we just hit add another text right over here. And then this one is added with a background, just so we know. We come into over here, switch it to text background, and we just turn that off, turn it to the checkerboard, and it'll make it transparent. Go back to text color and you can switch it to anything you want. Again, we can switch the type of font if we need to. So I really don't need this one, so I'm just going to uncheck it. And then if you need to upload a logo or upload an image, you can do that right here by clicking upload. It'll go to your computer documents and you can select what you want to add in. You have a lot of creativity that you can do here. So since we just moved this to the side, it's offering us to reset the layout again, just to put it right back in the middle. That's perfect. I like to use that whenever I start moving a lot of things around. So with that said, that's the basic rundown of how to use this. That is the left side over here. Now on the right side is the reason that I love Placeit so much, is that they give you a ton of graphics with full commercial usage rights, so you don't have to go find illustrations, make sure you have the rights to use them. All of these you just click right here, and it essentially just works it right into your design. So I'll show you another example in a bit here, but these illustrations that are worked into your design for you save you a ton of time. On a lot of other design tools, you click to add an illustration, and it just adds it to the front or the back of the graphic, and then you have to start figuring out where it fits. On here, you just click any of these and they will be worked directly into the design template. The name of the game in print on demand, especially in creating designs, is efficiency. You have to make sure that you can save time and you can create a lot of designs quickly rather than spending hours on a single design. You're simply not going to have enough listings out there to make a lot of money from all that organic traffic that's going through these marketplaces. So going on with this design, I really like the one that was first on here. Now, if you want to find other designs that aren't in college graduation, you can just switch this to graduation, see what comes up, and you'll have different icons that you can use. So just know that you can scroll through the side over here and you can keep switching these searches to find a ton of commercially usable graphics. So now that we have this design basically ready to go, all we have to do now is take the background color and switch it to transparent. And then as you can see, you have the white text with the dark blue. If we want to change the color of this graphic so it's all white, all we have to do is select the graphic, go to main graphic, and switch it to white or any other color that we want. Now, if I were to save this design like this, it would have a transparent background, it would be all white text, and we would put it on a darker color shirt so you can see it. However, for the sake of this example, I think this might be a little bit confusing, so I'm just going to switch all of these to black so that we can see what we are exporting here. Okay, hopefully that gives you a better idea that it has a transparent background. Everything we've created right here is ready to go. So once this design is ready to go, all we have to click is download up top here. Again, it's going to confirm that this is commercially usable, so we can profit from it by selling it on print-on-demand websites. It's also going to tell us the size of this image. This file here is 4,000 pixels by 4,800 pixels. Now, for most cases for Teespring, for Redbubble, you can save it just like this. So all you would click is download now, and then it'll save it to your computer, and it'll be ready to upload to Teespring and Redbubble. However, something that I want to share with you that'll save you a lot of time down the road is that Merch by Amazon has a specific size requirement for your designs to be uploaded onto their site. Now, since Merch by Amazon is such a big player in the print-on-demand space, you want to make sure that you're uploading them properly. Now, what Merch by Amazon requires for most of their items that you're going to be selling are 4,500 pixels by 5,400 pixels. Now, as you can see here, it's only 4,000 pixels by 4,800 pixels. So what do you do and how do you get it sized for Merch by Amazon? Now, luckily, Placeit makes this really easy for us. So all we have to do is click download now, just as it is, straight from the designer here. Then once it says click here to download, all you do is click view all below it. And here it's going to bring you into all of your designs that you have created recently. This is where you can re-download any designs if you need to. But what we are going to do is click the little down arrow that's just below it and go to crop/resize. And here we're just going to change the dimensions to what Merch by Amazon wants. What this is 4,500 pixels by 5,400 pixels. Now all we have to do is click download from here. It's going to show us again that it is processing the image. Just wait a couple seconds for it to be ready, and then click the download button and it'll go straight onto your computer. So this is now ready to go. Click here to download. It'll download it right onto your computer. You can open up this file. And now we have this design formatted for Merch by Amazon and ready to go. This is perfect for print on demand because it has a transparent background, and as you can see when you're zooming in, it's perfectly clear, so this will look good on a t-shirt. Now, a couple things to make note of here is that when we size it for Merch by Amazon by doing this extra step, it will work perfectly for Merch by Amazon. Teespring and Redbubble, they don't actually have size requirements. So we can take that same size that we did for Merch by Amazon and upload it to those other two as well. By doing it this way and sizing it for Merch by Amazon first, it just saves us time down the road. So now we have officially created our first design that is sized and ready to go, and it is in the niche of high school graduate. Now, before we leave Placeit, I want to show you the other way of creating t-shirt designs that I really like, that not a lot of people are talking about, and I highly recommend that you take advantage of. Now, with your Placeit subscription, you can go into not only their designs, but you can go into logos as well. Now, these are specifically for creating logos. However, you can use them for print-on-demand t-shirts and items as well. So once you're in their logos, I want you to type in the text here. Just click the little button below that says see all of our templates. And from here, these are all of their logo templates that we can actually customize and create our own. Going off the same niche we want to, we can create them for anything and get much more complex designs. This is where the graphic being worked into your design comes back into play that I was mentioning before. So again, the same as the t-shirt designs, except you can come through here and you can customize these to be in any niche. So you can click any of these and start editing them. As you can see, once you're in here, the text, the font, the colors is all the same as the t-shirt design templates, just more designs and more options that you can use apart from the t-shirt design templates. Once you do this, again, we're just going to change the background to the transparent color. And then we click the download button and we do everything the same as before, resize it for merch by Amazon, and you're good to go. So I just wanted to share with you to make sure that you knew that you could use the logos as well as the t-shirt design templates when you're creating t-shirt designs on Placeit. Alright, moving right along, we've got the first two big steps done. We figured out what niche we're going to start with. We created our first design. Now we need to actually upload it to Teespring, Redbubble, and Merch by Amazon. So let's go over to teespring.com. This is where we are going to begin. Now, if you don't have an account on Teespring just yet, you're going to want to create an account on Teespring. Again, this is completely free to do. You can do this from practically anywhere in the world, and I'll explain that a little bit more once we get into the account. Now, once you have your account, let's just go over to the overview. This is an example account that I've used for a couple tutorial videos, and as you can see, it's pretty funny. It actually sold an item. I was just using this to create listings for examples, did nothing else with it, and one of the items was purchased and I made $2 profit. So once you have your account set up and you're ready to go, just go up to Start Designing. And then we are just going to scroll down through all of these products, and we're just going to start with a standard t-shirt. T-shirts are going to be the most popular seller across basically all of print on demand, so that's what I recommend you create most of your listings with. Now, as you'll find out as we go through this, you can add multiple items to your same listing, but I'll explain that as we get into it. So let's just go over to the men's t-shirt, which is unisex, so men and women can both buy it. We'll start with this, and then it still gives us a couple more options of different items we can create on. Typically, I just go with a classic tee or a comfort tee. It will show you how much the product will cost. Now, remember, when you are a print-on-demand seller, you are not paying this cost. Now, to give you an example, let's say that this item costs about $10 to produce. If we set our price as we're going through this process at $15, when a customer buys it, they will pay that $15. The $10 and change will go to Teespring as the product cost, and that $5 will go to us. So as a seller, you never have to be paying Teespring to print any of the products. All of the costs and the fees are paid by the customer. So let's just go with a classic tee here. And here it's going to give you two options, which are typically confusing, but I want to explain them so you understand. This says buy or sell. If you are creating designs for yourself, you want to buy samples, or if you just want to create cool t-shirts and buy them at cost, you would go with buy. This is not going to list it on the marketplace, it's just going to make it so you can purchase it. However, what we want to do is we want to be sellers of designs. So we go over to the sell one, and that is where we're going to click. So now we are brought right into the designer, and from here it's very easy. Now on Teespring, you can actually create designs right here. So we could add text, we could add images, but I do not recommend doing this because you cannot save that design file. This is the reason that we use Placeit, is because we can use their templates, we can create great designs, and we can save them to our computer so that we can just take that file and upload it to all three of these print-on-demand websites. When you create it directly on Teespring, you cannot save that design file, so you cannot upload it to the other two websites. So with that said, all we are going to do is click Add Image, go through the files on our computer, and select that file that we just downloaded from Placeit. So now just by clicking that file on our computer, it uploads it right onto the t-shirt and we're good to go. Should we need to move anything around, we can still move it around, but we just want it right in the center as they put it on. Now that's about it as far as putting your design on the shirt. You can see the front side, we can see the back side. Typically just printing on the front side is plenty. That's where I sell most of my designs. You don't have to do dual-sided printing. I recommend just printing on the front. Now coming down to the next little section here is we have the product colors. So as you open this up, you will see a bunch of different colors to choose from. What I can tell you from experience is try to pick no more than 5 colors. If you give buyers too many options of too many colors and too many styles, they get what's called paralysis by analysis, where they're basically paralyzed in their decision because they have so many options. Do they like the pink? Do they like the lighter pink? Do they like the purple? If they have too many options, they don't end up buying any of them. So what I personally recommend is no more than 5 colors, no more than 5 styles per listing. So we'll just add in some core colors here, and the big thing to make sure is that you can still see your design on that color. So if we put it on navy, it's going to be a little bit hidden there and you can't really read that dark text. So I'm going to turn that off and just put it on a lighter color shirt. We'll put in a red, a green, and an orange. Since this is a male on the shirt, it's a man, not a woman, I'm not going to put in women's colors. Now, if your design could be bought by a man or a woman, then you're going to want to make sure that you have men's and women's colors available. Again, don't go over 5, so take out the orange and put in a pink if this were made for women as well. So the colors are all good here. We are good to go. I'm going to click done. And now we go on to our pricing. So Teespring is going to suggest pricing for you. However, what I have found is that the suggested pricing is just slightly too high. What I can personally recommend to you and what I've had the best success with is pricing your items a few dollars below the suggested price. So remember before we were talking about on a classic tee, the price to make that shirt was $10.57. Now, what you will see here is if you put in, I want to sell it for $10.57, it's going to say you will make a $0 profit. Teespring profit comes from that product cost. So that $10.57 includes their split as well as what it's going to cost them to print and actually make that shirt. So what you want to do is price your shirts accordingly. For t-shirts, they recommend $24.99. What I recommend is $19.99. It's still going to give you a $9.42 profit every time you sell this shirt, but it's going to be cheaper than most shirts, which are $24.99. Now, what you don't want to do is come in and price your shirts at $12 or $13. This is just way too low. A lot of people think that by doing this, they're going to undercut the competitors and get more sales. Yes, in theory, this may work. However, in the print-on-demand space, I do not recommend it. Now, once you've done one currency, you can move into the other currency. And again, we're just going to do roughly the same. Now, as you can see, if we type in the same number, since it's in a different currency, there's going to be a slight variation in the profit margin. However, this is what I recommend. It makes it simple, and as the currency fluctuates, it'll stay about the same price. Now, just to explain the difference between the two currencies and why we have to enter two different prices, because as a seller in print on demand, we can upload from anywhere in the world. But buyers can also buy from basically anywhere in the world. So there's different currencies that they can purchase from. Now, if the item is fulfilled from a fulfillment center that is not in the US, you're going to be using a different currency. So all in all, no matter where you are as a seller, you will be paid in your currency. But just know that buyers can buy in their currency. So that's why we have to set the two different prices. So with that said, we're basically ready to go here to the next section. I'm just going to switch this back to white just to make it nice and consistent. Let's go ahead and hit continue. And now we can choose which styles are offered in this listing. So remember before I said up to 5 colors is what I recommend, but also up to 5 styles is what I recommend. So it'll show you what styles you have added to the listing along this left side right here. Right now we have a unisex classic tee, which you can see in select styles. It is checkmarked right here. Now, I don't recommend adding other t-shirts if you already have a t-shirt. When I say up to 5 styles, I mean long sleeve shirt, hoodie, tank top, mug. These are other styles. You don't want to be adding too many different variations of the same item. So let's go ahead and click out of that. We have a classic tee. Now let's go over to hoodies and sweatshirts. This is always a good item because they have a really big profit margin on them. So again, you're going to have a bunch of different variations of this item that you can choose. I'm going to go with the classic pullover hoodie. I'm just going to select it to turn it on, but I'm also going to edit it. And then again, we can come right into colors and we can choose what is offered. If you want to offer the hoodie in a different color, just go through here and see what you'd like to offer, and you can turn it on. Again, I recommend no more than 5 colors here. So this looks good. I'm going to leave it on the white one. And then I'm just going to make sure that the white one is shown first. A lot of people ask, how do you change the color of the listing? They accidentally put the wrong one as the first color. This is the section where you do that. Just click edit and switch it to the white one. Now the white one will show as the first. Then we need to change our profit here. As you can see, the suggested price is $41.99, which I think is a little bit steep considering it has a $22 profit margin in it. For here, I'm going to do $35. That will be our sale price for this hoodie. That's how much it will sell for. And as you can see, we have about a $12 to $15 profit margin on this. So every time someone buys it, we make $12 to $15. So that looks good. I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. And we are all good. This is checked off. And as you can see, we have a classic tee and a classic hoodie. They are both added and they are both white on the front. And basically, you just repeat this until you've added all the styles that you want. So typically in my listings, and what I recommend for you is doing 5 items. Do a t-shirt, a hoodie, a tank top, a long sleeve shirt, and a mug. Now, depending on what that design is, sometimes I'll swap out the mug or some of the other styles with something that seems more fitting for that specific design. So I'm just going to go through and add the other items really quickly here. Remember, always go through and edit and make sure that you have your right colors that you want in here. And you have the color that you want to show first, which is white, and then you have your pricing set. If you don't change any of this, the pricing stays on the suggested price, which is just going to be too high. So again, for this, we're going to price this at $19.99. Just a couple dollars below the suggested price. That looks good. Long sleeve. Again, just making the prices a few dollars below the suggested price. As you can see, we're still going to make $7 to $8 profit on every sale. Now, as you can see, we have 4 items added to this listing. Now I just need to come into accessories and go to a mug so we can add it on a mug as well. And make sure that you have all of the main colors that you want added here. Just going to add in some of the common ones. Make sure that you have the right color mug showing on the front, and then set your pricing. And as you can see, it's just a few dollars below the suggested price. and save changes. So now we have the 5 items that I typically add to the listing. So this listing is ready to go. We just hit continue. And this is the last part of the listing. This is where we add in our title and description. I've made videos on this channel going over different templates that you can use for the title and description. However, as a good rule of thumb, you want to include the name of the shirt, of what's on that text or what it's about in the title, and additionally put that in the description because they're going to be looking for keywords in the title and the description for what they should be ranking you for. So as far as the description goes, I don't like to overcomplicate this and I don't like to fill it with spam. So I have a very simple template that I use. Feel free to use it yourself or use a variation of it if you like. Add some fun to your wardrobe with this or give it as a perfect gift. Now you have to come in, you can't just post it as is. You have to come in and add your keywords to it. So there's a couple places and I'll show you where they are to add your keywords of what your design is about. So add some fun to this is the first one. This is where you put in what it is about. Add some fun to your graduation wardrobe with this, and then describe what the shirt is. So it's kind of a funny graduation design, and that's what we're going to put in. So if it's a funny design, you put in funny before you put in the keyword again. So funny graduation design. Or give it as a perfect gift. So that's all you have to do for the description, and you can use that template and just swap out what the words are about what the niche is. So that's it for the description, nice and simple. Just be sure to put in your keywords so they know where to show you. And then as you scroll down, you're just about done. You have a URL that they're going to assign for you. It's going to set it based on what's not taken. So happy graduation day is probably taken. So I'm just going to do happy graduation day -1. This again is going to have keywords in our URL. So as people are searching for graduation day or happy graduation day, we will show up based on our keywords in the title, description, and the URL. Make sure that you set this on public. That way other people can see it once it's added to the marketplace. And then if you have an existing storefront, you will add it to it here. We are going to be doing that, but not quite yet. I'll show you that in a minute. So just like this, we are ready to go. We click publish listing. Just give it a second to load here. If for any reason this crashes and doesn't go all the way through, try it on a different browser and that will be the browser that you'll want to use for future listings. So now we have our first Teespring listing, and if you followed along this far, you're officially a seller on print on demand. This listing is now for sale, so someone can buy your design on a t-shirt, on a hoodie, on a mug. They can even pick their color and their size. Now when someone does come along and buy this, they will pay for everything, and just that profit margin that we put on top of it will be added to our account that we can cash out anytime. Now speaking of cashing out on Teespring, something that's important to do once you've created your first design is to go to your drop down, go to settings, and then make sure that you add how you're going to be paid out. This is a variable in the trust score, so we have to get a few sales, but also they need to know that they can pay us. So all you do is scroll down, and all you have to do is add your email address for your PayPal account or your Payoneer account. Now the reason they have both of these as options is PayPal is more US based and Payoneer is more universal, so you can do it from anywhere in the world. So if your region does not support PayPal, you can create a Payoneer account instead and connect it right here. Now a common question is, do you need to have a business account for this? No. For PayPal and Payoneer, you can do a completely free personal account, and that'll be plenty for this. You don't have to register a business or anything like that. Now once you've done this and you've added your email, it's going to send a confirmation link. So make sure that you check your email and verify that email, and then it will be confirmed on here. So if you stuck around this far in this video, you're doing extremely well, and we're almost done. There's just a home stretch here. First thing is that our Teespring listing is now up. So now all we have to do is come over to Redbubble and then also Merch by Amazon, and we're just going to do the same thing. So we go through the same process here, nothing special with either of these. You can use the same title and description for all 3 of these sites. And again, you use that same design file that's on our computer to upload onto these items. Now with Redbubble and Merch by Amazon, you don't have to do anything with storefronts or your own marketing because there is no trust score. So essentially for those 2, you're already at the end of the process. For Redbubble and Merch by Amazon, you find good niches, you create as many great designs in those niches as you can, you upload them to the site, and then you go back to the beginning. You don't have to create any storefronts, you don't have to do any marketing yourself. Now the only thing that's important to note is that when we start talking about Merch by Amazon, when you create your account, you have to actually apply. So you have to request an invitation. It takes about 5 minutes to fill out that form, and it's just because they have so many people interested in joining that they can't accept everyone. So I'm going to link a video down in the description just for you to bookmark and watch later once you finish this one that gives you pointers on what you should put in your application to increase your chances of getting accepted. So once you are accepted to Merch by Amazon, the really important thing to know is you're only going to have 10 slots available in the beginning. So as you start creating your designs in good niches, pick the 10 designs that you think are the absolute best in the best niches and put those up on your Merch by Amazon account. You don't have to do anything, you don't have to send any traffic or anything. They will just organically get sales, and once you get 10 sales, you'll be moved into the next tier, which allows you 25 slots to upload designs. Again, once you get 25 sales, you're moved into the next tier, and it just keeps going up more and more. The goal with Merch by Amazon is just keep moving up and adding as many designs as you can. Now this goal stays true for Redbubble and Teespring as well. The ultimate goal is to get as many great designs up there in good niches as we can. So that takes care of the process for Redbubble and Merch by Amazon. Again, we're just adding as many designs as we can there and making sure we're finding good niches and creating as many good designs as we can. Now coming back to Teespring, this is the last part of the process here, and it's specific to Teespring because they have the trust score. All right, you guys are doing really well. We are on the last section here. This is the last part of the whole process, and this is specifically just for Teespring. Now, in theory, we could just treat Teespring just like Redbubble and Merch by Amazon, where we're just finding good niches and creating a ton of great designs in them. However, we really need that trust score from Teespring, so we have to get 2 to 10 of our own sales. Once we do that, they start adding our items to their marketplace and they start doing all of their free marketing for us. So it's very advantageous to us to try to get those first few sales as quickly as we possibly can, so that we can get added to their marketplace and take advantage of their nearly 17 million people coming to their site every month browsing through the marketplace. So with that said, what we have to do is go back over to Teespring, and from here, let's go to storefronts. And as you can see, there's another example of a storefront that I was creating in another tutorial video. However, what we are going to be doing is click Create New Storefront. And this one is going to be specifically for our niche that we found on Merch Informer. So in this example, it is high school graduates. So what we're going to do is come up with a name that is not us, it's not ambiguous, but it is about the niche. So what I would do is high school graduation tees. Now, I know we're going to be selling sweatshirts and long sleeve shirts and tank tops, but by putting tees in here, it kind of gives people an idea of what it is. People associate tees with graphic tees or designs on a t-shirt, so I think it works well in storefront names, and I can recommend using it. So this is good, high school graduation tees. That's the name of our storefront. Now, if someone else has that name in their storefront already, it won't let you do it, so find one that is not already used. Now from here, we have to customize this storefront. It's not a long process, but you're going to go through your header, and you can change the color of this header in this drop down over here. I'm going to leave it as it is. Click save if you did change it. We're going to go to the banner, and this is where you can upload a banner photo. So on some of my other storefronts that you've probably seen on these tutorials, you can add in a very slim banner, and it'll go right along the top. It's 1600 by 200 pixels to be exact, but I'll show you how to create that banner photo in a second here. We're going to come back and we're going to go to products. This is the most important part. We're going to add products, and we're going to add in the products that we just created. So as you can see, they are all separate listings. We can check all of them that we want to add, but what I recommend doing is adding just one of them. So as you know, we put that design onto 5 different styles in the same listing. And we don't want to add all 5 of them to the same storefront because it's just going to look very repetitive. So typically what I would do is just add it on the classic t-shirt. So as you can see, it says classic tee right here. We're just going to hit the check mark to the left of it, and then we'll hit done. And then again, we're going to hit done over here. And as you can see, it just added that item right to our storefront. Now something that's good to know is that since we only picked the t-shirt, it's actually fine for us because when someone clicks on that t-shirt, it brings them to the full listing where they can see all 5 of the styles and all of the different colors associated with them. Okay, so basically we have just created a storefront. Granted, we haven't added a banner photo, we haven't really spiced it up to look really good, but this is a functioning storefront. The way we see that is we click Go to Store down at the bottom, and it brings us into our real live storefront. So we're going to leave this page open. We're going to come back to this in a second. I hope you guys are sticking along with me here, but this is going to be the storefront that we're going to be doing some free marketing to get traffic over here and make some purchases and get us our trust score. So now that we have this storefront and we've clicked Go to Storefront, this is the actual link to that storefront. I'm going to leave it up because we're going to come back and reference it in a second here. So now that this is ready to go, now we need to talk about how do you get that initial traffic over to your Teespring storefront so that you can get those first few sales and get your trust score. Once you have your trust score, you don't need to do storefronts, you don't need to do any of that anymore. All you have to do is find great niches and create a ton of great designs in them. However, we need to get people to this storefront so they can see all of our listings in this really good niche and they can start buying them. So how do you do that? Well, over time, I have found out that Instagram, using a completely free page on Instagram and free niche hashtags, you can target people really well. You can put in a link to the storefront, and as you start posting about things in that niche, people find your posts, they find your profile, and they click on the storefront, and they come over here, and all of a sudden they've ended up on your storefront looking at the products that you've created. So I'll walk you through right now how to do this. We're going to switch over to my phone so I can go into Instagram, and we can start this process. Okay, so once you are on Instagram, this is a pretty important part. We need to create a new account. This is not the account that you personally use on Instagram. We're not just gonna start posting photos of t-shirts there. What we need to do is literally create a new account. So log in or create a new account, and this is where we're going to set the username. Now we want the username to be as close to the storefront name as possible. Now with Instagram, you can get creative by using underscores or periods. So as you're going through here, once it loads for a second, it's going to tell you what is taken. So obviously high school is taken. Someone has that as a username. So I'm just going to do high school, and underscore is a nice divider, graduation, and another underscore, and tees. High school graduation tees with underscores. This is ready to go. As you see, we got a check mark, so this literally works, and I'm just going to hit next. Then it'll ask you how you'd like to log in. I just do add a password instead and set your password here. And then they'd like you to set your birthday here, so I'm just going to set a date that looks good. Let's be 26 years old right now. And then just adding a phone number or an email. So if you have an email on a different account, it's not going to allow you to use it. So you may need to create a new email, which is very easy. You could just go to Gmail or any other email provider and just create basically an account that is for print on demand. And then once you've done that, it's basically just walking you through your new account. Now, once you get to add a profile photo, I'll show you how to make that in just a second here, but we're going to skip it for now. And now we have a brand new Instagram account, which is specifically for our Teespring storefront about high school graduation tees. So the first few steps that we need to do here, we need to edit our profile. So click the edit profile button up top. For the name, we're going to type in our storefront name again, high school graduation tees. And what's nice is when someone is searching accounts on Instagram, it shows the name under the username, so they will be able to see high school graduation tees are what your page is about. And the website link, this is one of the most important things on Instagram, is you need to make sure that this website link is the storefront link that we have on our computer. So I'm just going to reference my computer and type this in. And then once we have that typed in, we basically have enough that we need on this page. However, we do have bio where we can type in and customize and make this profile look good, telling people what they are here for. So in here, I'm just putting the best high school graduation tees in town because it is kind of a play on words because it's in town. Every high school has its own town and it's very competitive from town to town. So that's just a simple way to do it. There's other videos on this channel going over different styles and different formats that you can put in your bio, but essentially this is up to you. Just make sure that you're telling someone when they come to your profile what they will find on your profile. So once we've done this, we are good to go, so we can just hit done. So what's cool about this is now since we put that link up there, when someone comes to our profile, they can click that link and it goes right to our Teespring storefront where they can see all of our items that we have in here. Then once they click on them, they can see that entire listing, front and back. They can see the different products it's available on. And this is everything that we have just created on the computer. Okay, so now we're done on the phone for right now. We're on the last couple steps here. We need to come up with our profile photo. We also need to come up with the content that's going to be posted on this page. And then I'll show you how to find the niche hashtags to get your traffic to your Instagram page so they go to your storefront and make their purchases. Okay, so now that we have that Instagram profile ready for us and waiting for us, now let's create the profile photo. We can also create the banner photo for the storefront here, and we can create the content that's going to be posted on that Instagram page. So the content you're going to be posting on the Instagram page is you want to be showing off what you have to offer, which are your shirts, and also you want to be showing engaging posts that people want to see on Instagram. If you are only posting photos of your t-shirts, which are screenshots from the listings, it's going to get old to people and it's not really as engaging. So what is engaging content? Well, this is what I like to do. Let's go back over to Place It, and this is where we left off before. I'm just going to go back to their homepage. With the subscription to Place It that we were talking about in the beginning, again, it's like $12 per month. You can create your t-shirt designs, but also you can create mock-up photos. Again, they have thousands of mock-ups. Just to give you the number, right now they have almost 50,000 templates that you can choose from, and they're adding to them daily. So there's 810 that are recently added. Now what that means for us is we can go to mock-ups, hover over that, click on t-shirts, and now we have a ton of mock-ups where simply all we do is we find the mock-up that we want to have a photo on our Instagram page, and you do this a ton of times. So this is basically endless content. And essentially what you do is you find the ones that you like, and then you can put the designs that we created on Place It before, you upload it, and it photoshops it onto that model. So there are endless possibilities here, but you want to find people who are in your target market. Find the people who are in that niche that you created this page for. For this example, that is going to be high school graduation. So we want to find people who look like high schoolers, and that's who we want to use. But also don't forget you have the search feature up top, graduation. We'll search within results this time because we want to search within mockups. That way it's not going to show us the graduation t-shirt designs, but rather just the mockups this time. So then just like that, we have mockups of graduates in their cap and gown, which is a perfect fit for what we are trying to advertise here. And then all we have to do is go to upload image and select the design file that is on an item in our storefront. Now it's going to allow you to crop it. First, let's go with what is recommended. And if we need to make that design bigger or smaller on the shirt, we can change that in crop. So as you can see, this is a little bit low for where I would prefer. It's kind of on the stomach rather than the chest. So I'm just going to go back to crop. Just going to bring it up to the top, and we'll try it right there. That looks a lot better. So happy graduation day. There is a young male wearing a young male on a shirt about graduation day in his cap and gown. All we have to do here is hit download. Again, commercial usage is okay. Just a reminder, this is why I love Placeit so much. Wait just a second here and it's going to process the mockup, and then we can download it directly to our computer. All right, it's ready. Click here to download. We'll open this up. And just like that, we have an image that looks like it was professionally taken. As you can see, the quality of all their mockups is top-notch, and our design is photoshopped onto their shirt. Now what we are going to do with this image is send it to our phone, and then we will post it on our Instagram page. So if you have an Apple computer and an Apple phone, you can airdrop it to yourself. If not, you can email it to yourself, and then you can open email on your phone and download it that way. But one way or another, you want to get this from your computer to your phone. This is so that we can use it in Instagram. All right, coming back to the phone, I just airdropped it to myself, so I have it on my phone here. Now we're going to switch back over to Instagram, and now we are ready to post our first photo. So all we do is the add button. We'll select the mockup, and we'll hit the little button in the corner to make it full size. We'll hit next. Since it's coming from Placeit, you don't have to edit any of the colors or anything. If you want to put a specific style on these, then you can. I do not recommend doing it because I think their photos are taken professionally, so it has the look that you have a professional photographer taking these photos for you. Then we'll just hit next. Now the only thing we have to do here is write our caption. We're not going to use hashtags just yet. And then make sure that our toggle switch is turned on for high school graduation tees or whatever your page is. Now in the caption, you don't want to be salesy. You don't want to be trying to get a hard sale. Although a lot of people that find these images and end up purchasing from Instagram, they are buying from impulse purchases. They're not going to really be long-term loyal followers. They're more so just going to see it, know someone who they could buy that for, and it'll be a perfect fit. You're in the right place at the right time. This is going to happen by the magic of hashtags, which I'll show you in a minute here. So essentially what we're going to put in our captions is just telling people what we offer. So I'm just going to go along the lines of, do you know someone who's graduating? Do you want to get them an awesome shirt as a gift? Well, check out our store because we have a ton of them. And once that's good, all we have to do is click share, and this will be the first post on our Instagram page. Now, once you've made this post, we need to bring in the power of hashtags. So on this post, it's really not going to be seen by anyone yet because we have no followers and it's a brand new page. However, if we go down to this search button and we come up to the search at the top, we go over to tags and we type in what our niche is, high school graduation. We are going to see a ton of hashtags that we can use and be putting on our post. So essentially you want to go through here and find the ones that are relevant. The ones that are from 2018 or 2019 obviously are not going to be relevant, but the ones that are 2020 or just generally high school graduation, these are all going to be targeting people who are graduating high school, and this is relevant for them. So what we are going to do is make a list in the notes on our phone of a lot of these hashtags that we really like that fit what we are targeting. So I'm just going to open up notes on my phone and we'll start there. So I'm going to go through here and put together a list of the ones that fit who we are targeting, which is high school graduation. And for each post, you can use up to 30 hashtags. And you can keep going along here until you find up to 30 of them and have your 30 best ones in this list. Now, don't think that you have to stay on high school graduation. We can come back in here and we can take out high school and just do graduation and see if there are some better hashtags for us to use here. Just make sure that, especially in a niche like this where we're targeting specifically high school graduation, make sure that we don't get carried away in these hashtags and get into college graduation or things that may be off topic but still seemingly in the same niche. So make sure that you're staying very specific and targeting the people that are relevant in your specific niche. Okay, so this is my list of 3 right now. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but you can go up to 30. Then after you make a post, you're going to select all and you're going to copy. We'll go back over to our Instagram post that we just posted, and we're going to go into our profile, we'll go to that post, and we're going to leave a comment. In the comment, we're going to paste those hashtags. We'll post it, and now those hashtags are still going to be clickable, they are still going to be relevant, but they are not going to show up when someone is looking at this post. As you can see, it says view one comment, rather than having all of our hashtags just kind of out here in the front, which is not very easy on the eyes. So that's why we put it in a comment. So after you post your post, come back and leave a comment, and that's where you'll put in your hashtags. Now once you have that list of up to 30 hashtags in your notes, you can keep copy pasting that list into your comments on every post that you make on your Instagram page. Now don't forget you have to add in your profile photo, so I'm just going to set it as the same image that we posted down here. But what you can do is you can go over to Place It and you can create a whole new one of a different model or a different mock-up of a t-shirt, and you can put that in your profile photo. Alright, that'll be our profile photo for this page. And now as you can see, our page is starting to come alive. So what's cool about these hashtags is since we put these in the comments down here, people interested in these topics, Instagram is going to automatically show our image to those people. It'll show up in their search when they go through and they're browsing just looking at Instagram posts, and they don't have to be following our page. So this is how we get organic traffic just coming from Instagram, people browsing around. They see our post, they're like, oh wow, that's actually good. They read the caption, know someone who's graduating, want to get them an awesome shirt. Check out our store link that's in our bio. They click on your profile, they go over and they click your link. This is how you get people over your storefront completely for free just using Instagram hashtags. So essentially bringing this full circle, when you have your Instagram page, you are just going to repeat this process. As you're creating new designs on Place It, you'll upload them to Teespring, Redbubble, and Merch by Amazon. For the ones on Teespring, you'll add them to your storefront, and then you'll go back to Place It, create mock-ups. With those mock-ups, you'll put them on Instagram and use niche-specific hashtags in the comments on those posts. As you start doing that more and more, people will keep finding your Instagram posts and go to your storefront, and they're clearly interested in this topic because the hashtags were relevant to them. The only way they're going to get to your storefront is if they're interested in that specific niche. Then it's just a matter of time of getting in front of the right people from Instagram who are ready to buy and they're ready to get one of those shirts now. You only have to do this process with Instagram in the beginning for Teespring until you get a few of your own sales, and then you have your trust score and Teespring does it all for you. They will start adding you to the marketplace and you get in front of literally millions of people per month. Redbubble and Merch by Amazon, they do that for you from the start, so you don't have to worry about storefronts or any of the Instagram marketing. Now I know we were talking about the banner on the Teespring storefront. I just wanted you to know that I didn't forget about that. You can use Place It for that as well. So you can find a mock-up that looks good when it's kind of squished because you only have that little area. It's just a strip of a photo. If you want to add in the banner photo, I recommend using Place It to use a mock-up and create some type of cool image that's relevant. With that being said, guys, this is the full process. I know this has been a lengthy video. There are going to be links in the description and a table of contents so you can jump around. If you stuck around this far in this video, my hat's off to you because I know how long this was, and this was a lot of information. This is everything you need to know to succeed in print on demand. The rest is up to you. It's just finding more good niches, making as many great designs as you can in them. Once you get your trust score on Teespring, then you don't have to worry about the storefronts or the Instagram at all. Then it's just a matter of finding more great niches and making as many great designs in them as you can. Guys, I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions for me about any of this, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll keep an eye on the comments and I'll help you out with some answers. Additionally, the channel is filled with a ton of detailed videos on certain parts of this process, so feel free to look around there. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will be seeing you all in the next video. Hey everyone, this is Greg, and today I've got another Teespring video for you. This is going to be one of the biggest Teespring videos that I've ever made, and it's going to cover a lot of very important things. You've been asking how to create designs that sell, so this video is going to touch on how to create designs for Teespring that actually get sales, but it's going to go a little bit further than that. As you notice, this is going to be a bit of a longer video, and the reason behind that is it's not as simple as just saying this design will sell on Teespring. There are a few different variables that go into this, and I'm going to cover each one of these in this video. It's going to be the first time that I've walked through from start to finish on this, so I really recommend you watch the whole video. I'm not going to have any fluff in this video, so just know that if you stick around to the end of this video, you only have to watch it once, and you'll know all of this information going forward for every time you're creating designs for Teespring. So without further ado, let's get started. The very first step that we have to take is often overlooked by a lot of people, and this is why a lot of people don't have success or get a lot of sales on their shirts. This is making sure that your niche will actually sell. So the very first thing we're going to do, we're going to pop in the computer right here and we're going to go over to kwfinder.com. So this right here is kwfinder.com. It's short for keywordfinder.com, and it's the best keyword search tool that I've ever found. It's completely free to use. They give you 5 searches per day, but the cool thing is each one of these searches yields about 30 results, so you have plenty to work with. Now, if you hit your maximum of searches, it'll just prompt you to create an account. You can create a free account. You just put in your email and create a password, and then you have additional searches that you can use. So just know that if you run into that issue. But what we want to use this for is to make sure that there's room in the niche that we're thinking about in order to get sales. So there's not too much competition where we never get found. So what we're going to do is come right to enter a keyword. You're going to type in the niche that you're thinking about, followed by shirt. And then we'll see what those results yield. So the first thing we're going to do here is yoga shirt. And then we'll leave the other 2 on anywhere in any language. Hit find keywords over here, and we'll see what these results yield. So we only have to look at 3 things here. The first thing is to make sure that the keyword is actually relevant. So yoga shirt, yes, that's relevant. Yoga hose, that's not going to be relevant. Yoga hose, not relevant. Again, yoga t-shirt, that will be relevant. So the 2 that we'll focus on right here are yoga shirt, yoga t-shirt, and then maybe even t-shirt yoga right here. And as you scroll down, you can see you have quite a few other options you can look at, and then it starts to blur it out until you get a paid plan. But remember, you get 5 searches a day on here, so there's plenty to work with. So the first column is making sure that the keyword lines up. So yoga shirt, yoga t-shirt, and maybe t-shirt yoga. That's the first of the 3. Now the second is the search volume. So we have to make sure that there's actually enough people searching for this niche. So 5,000 monthly searches, we've got almost 2,000 monthly searches. Right there, that's about 7,000 searches. That's plenty. And then t-shirt yoga, that's a more uncommon search term, but there's another 300 right there. So we've got our keyword, make sure that it's relevant over here. And then the search volume, make sure that there's plenty of search volume. Anything over 1,000 a month is a good one to go with. That'll give you plenty of searches to work with. If you get into 5,000 or even something like 12,000, that's great. As long as you make sure that this number over here, you want to look for 39 or below. This will mean that it's actually rankable. It means that that niche is not completely saturated. Anything over 39 or closer to a red color on here means that there's a ton of competition and your shirts won't rank, so they won't get found there. So make sure that it's 39 or below. The closer to green you can get here, the better. So what I really like about KW Finder is that it gives you this color scheme right here. So you don't even really have to look at the numbers. You just aim for the closest to green. So right off the bat for yoga, we can tell that if we add up yoga shirt, yoga t-shirt, we've got a 31, a 35, and then maybe we'll go with t-shirt yoga is a 31 as well. If we add all 3 of those up and then we divide it by 3, it gives us the average. So there's 3 terms, so that's why we're dividing by 3. So we've got 35, 31, and 31. So when we add that up and divide it by 3, it's something around 32 or 33. So that's our number. That's below 39, so that absolutely works. Now that's pretty close to 39. 39 is kind of the cutoff. I would not recommend going forward if it's above 39 because it just means there's too much competition. So this is going to be a little bit of a competitive market here. This yoga, clearly there's a lot of searches, but I know there's a lot of people making purchases in the yoga market. So that's why I would say it's okay to use this. But as you go through here, you can search different things, not only yoga shirt, but you could type in basketball shirt. You can type in rock climbing shirt. You can type in different niches. Just make sure that they have relevant keywords and then it's getting enough search traffic and that the numbers are in the green and absolutely below 39. The closer to 1 that you can get here and the greener your terms, the better the niche you found. So go through here and keep searching. Just make sure that before you create any designs, that there's room for you to actually sell in your niche. So that's the first step that people often overlook, and that's making sure that there's actually room for you to make sales in that niche. So that's the first crucial step right there. So now that we've made sure that we've picked a good niche, now we need to go and find some design inspiration. So what I love to do is come over to Etsy.com. If you haven't been on Etsy, it's kind of like a custom craft marketplace, but you'll find that you can get a ton of inspiration on really good ideas for designs here. So what we're going to do is come right up to the search bar and type in our niche followed by shirt. So we'll type in yoga shirt.
What's up, my friend? It's Simeon. 2 exciting things: a $1 million giveaway at the end of this video, and also I'm going to show you how to make money online.
And now you can see in these results, you have a ton of hits. So the ones right up top are advertisements. So don't think that those are the top results. Those are the ones that people are paying to put right there. But don't immediately write them off. Just know that those ones are being paid to be on the top row. So what we're going to do is scroll through these listings to get idea inspiration while looking for 3 specific things. So the first specific thing is to make sure that the designs are something that we can actually create. If you find really intricate designs on here, something like this, you're just not going to be able to create that unless you are a graphic designer or you're paying someone to create something similar to that. What I prefer to look for are things like quotes, like inhale, exhale. You can make this in a ton of different variations, and you can absolutely do that just by typing text. Things that are just words like this, you can use quotes, you can spin them around, and I'm going to talk about that more in a bit. But the first thing is to absolutely make sure that they are simple designs. I like to focus on words. So that's the first thing we're looking for. The second thing that we're focusing on is the reviews. So we want to see how many reviews there are. So as you can see, when we scroll through here, there's something like 2,800, and then we've got 758, and then on a shirt like this, we have 57, we've got 125. You want to see if you can get into the thousands. Judge it by how many reviews it has compared to the others. So as you can see, anything over 1,000 is really getting a lot of reviews in this category. So those are going to be good options. And then the third thing that we're going to look for is what the actual review is. So as you can see here, this is a full 5-star, full 5-star, full 5-star. And then as we scroll through here, we might find some that are lower. So this one's 1-star. Someone really didn't like that when they got it. So as we're scrolling through here, we're keeping those 3 things in mind. Make sure you're looking for designs that are mostly words and things that you can actually create. Number 2, making sure that there's a lot of reviews. And then number 3, making sure that those reviews are good reviews. 5 stars is preferred. So with all that in mind, you can scroll through here and get inspiration. Now when you find ones that you like, you can just screenshot them. If you're on a Mac, you press Shift-Command-3 and it'll screenshot that page, and then you can reference that screenshot later for some design inspiration. Now if you're using a PC or you just don't want a screenshot like that, you can take photos on your phone of the specific ones that you like, or you can jot down what those quotes were on a Post-it note or something, just so you can reference that later when we're doing designing. Now the big thing that I want to talk about here is you cannot just go on here and copy someone's design exactly. Teespring is actually going to penalize you for that. They'll remove your design and then they actually lower your trust score, making it harder for you to get sales because they won't be promoting your stuff organically. However, you can absolutely use this for inspiration, and I have a full video down in the description that talks only about Teespring copyright, what you need to know, and all the important things, so feel free to watch that after this. So this is actually information straight from Teespring on exactly what we're talking about right now, and it actually gives examples, so easier to see. So if we look over here, we have the original shirt, which is beards are best, and then we have someone who copied it, and that is not good. Now, if you use that for inspiration and you create something that looks like this, beards, the best, and then put multiple beards on there, that's completely fair game. Now, as we scroll down here, we can see a few more examples. So just changing the color of the shirt does not suffice and is still copyright infringement. However, if we use that same idea and we change the quote slightly, it's completely okay, and now that's your own design. And then the last example here is with images. So as you can see, there is a figure right here, and we cannot use the same figure on another shirt. However, if you change it slightly, now it's yours again. So they change the words and they change the figure. Now that's your own design and that's fair to use. So if you want to know more about the copyright and how it all works for Teespring, like I said, there's a video linked in the description that'll go over everything, me explaining what this is, but I'll also link to this article so you can read all of this in more detail if you want to. But the moral of the story is, when you're scrolling through Etsy like this, don't copy something exactly. Make it your own. Change the order of the words, put on different images. That's creating your own. And the best thing about Teespring is when you actually create your own original design, by default, copyright law gives you that copyright. You don't have to do anything. You now own that copyright. So if someone else copies your design, you can report that right to Teespring. Teespring will investigate it. If they deem that it's copyright infringement on your design, they will remove that listing and lower that seller's trust score. So just know that you can use this to your advantage too, as long as you're creating original designs. So what I'm going to do is just pick one design that we're going to use for actually creating the design on this tutorial. I'm going to go with something like this. This is yoga, I'm down dog. It's like downward dog, so that's kind of the pun right there. It's got over 1,000 reviews and 5 stars, so this is looking good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this a little bit. So I'm going to probably change this to yoga, I'm so down. Try to keep it close enough to go off that same pun of downward dog, but changing it to make it my own. So mine's going to be yoga, I'm so down. So what do we do from this point? Now I recommend you go to your smartphone and you download one of 2 apps, either Typorama or WordSwag. Now, Typorama and WordSwag are hands down the best designing apps. You put in the words and it creates designs for you. You don't have to be a graphic designer. So this will work for anyone. Now, to be very clear on this, Typorama has already been cleared for commercial use. They released an update saying that you can use the designs created on Typorama for commercial use and for profit. So that's excellent for us because we can use this on our t-shirts to profit from. Now, as of January in 2019, WordSwag has not pushed out this update yet. I would imagine it's coming very soon because it's a very similar app to Typorama. Now, the thing is, on Typorama, nothing on the app actually changed from before they put that in their terms to after. It's just that they announced and put it in print that you can actually use it for commercial use. So my assumption is WordSwag is right behind them and going to release that soon. But as of right now, WordSwag hasn't released that. And the other thing is, these apps are a couple dollars. It's something like $5, maybe $7 right now. But trust me, you pay that once and then you can create unlimited designs. You sell your first shirt, it's going to pay for that. And the last thing here is Typorama is for iOS or iPhone. and then WordSwag is for Android. Right now, Typorama is not on Android, so you can't use it on there, so you may have to look further into the WordSwag option. So with that being said, I'm going to pull up Typorama on my phone, and we'll start this design process. Alright, so now we're in the phone here, so I'm going to click on Typorama and open that up. And the very first thing we're going to do here is click that transparent in the top left corner. This is going to give us a clear background so we can just create the text or the design, export it, and it won't have a background, so we can put it on any color shirt. So we'll click that transparent. And then we have a couple options for sizes. As you scroll through here, you can find all different sizes, but we're just going to leave it on original size. It's actually perfect, and we don't need to change anything. So just make sure you're set on original size and hit next. And this is the beauty of Typorama. So all we have to do here is double tap right on that text, and now we can type in our quote or whatever we want to use for our design here. So I'm going to come back over here and find the one that we're going to use. That's right here. Yoga, I'm down dog. So we're going to do yoga. I'm going to capitalize the yoga, and then I'm going to do manual line breaks just so I can press enter and come underneath and do a similar design to this. And then we'll do I'm so down. And you can play with the capitalization if you want to capitalize the S and so and the D and down. You can do that, but as you see on this one, they didn't. So I'm just not going to here. But this is going to be our design right here. Now, if we were to turn off manual line breaks, it'll just split it up randomly. So we have yoga, I'm could be on the same line. So they could be on different lines. I know exactly how I want it. So I'm going to turn manual line breaks on. And all we have to do is hit done in the top right corner. And this is the first of our designs right here. So all of these things on the bottom here, you can actually hit and it creates different designs. Now what I really love about this is if you hit the same one multiple times, it creates multiple designs. So as you can see, it's slightly changing, and sometimes it's more prevalent than others. So you can see that this design is changing like crazy. So these are all different designs, all within one different design category. Look how many design categories you have here. So you have unlimited designs, and you don't have to pay anyone for anything like this. You can just go through here, and this is how you can create your designs. So all we're going to do here is just keep coming through here and see if we can find one that we like. I don't want to waste your time here, so I'm just going to try to find one pretty quickly. And I'm going to go with this one. It's just a nice looking design that I could see on someone's yoga shirt. As we come back over here and look, you can kind of see this script kind of text, which is the same like my best right here. And some of these words through here like breathe, it's in that scripted text. So that's what we're going to use on this one. And then the last thing we have to do here is click on it once, and you can actually drag it to make it bigger. And this is just going to make the quality of the design when it's exported better, so we can make it bigger on shirts without getting grainy. And then the last thing is just to make sure that it's centered. So I like to use the gray and white squares in the background, just try to make it even on both sides. So I'm looking at the bottom right now on those dotted lines, and it looks like I can get about 2 squares in on both sides, and just make sure that you get that set, and then that's going to be centered. So that's your design right here. Now if you want to change the color of that text, all you have to do is hit color at the bottom, and now you can change what color that is. If you're going to put it on a black or a dark shirt, you might want to go with something that's white. And if you're going to put it on a gray shirt or anything like that, you can go with something that's black. Now if you scroll all the way over here, you can actually change and get multiple colors if you wanted to put in like different colors like this, and you can keep hitting these and it'll switch it to different colors throughout. So I'm going to stay with the black. I found over time that the black, white, and gray typically sell the best, and my assumption on that is because you have a bigger market. If you put the font in purple, someone might not like purple, and just because of that they don't buy the shirt. So I recommend you leave it in a black, white, or gray font, but you can do whatever you prefer here. So that's all we're going to do, and then we just hit OK share, and we can save it right to our camera roll. So you can save it right there, saves it to your phone's camera roll, and now you can either text it to yourself, airdrop it to yourself, you can email it to yourself just to get it onto your computer. So what I'm going to do is airdrop it onto my computer. That's the easiest way. If you're on a Mac and an iPhone, you can just send it right to your computer. But if you need to, you can go to your camera roll and you can just email that to yourself. So all I'm going to do here is hit done. And a little side note, when you're ready to create your next design, all you have to do is double click on that text again, type in the new quote or whatever it is, and go from there. So here in my camera roll, all I have to do is hit this send button in the bottom left corner, and then I'll airdrop it to myself. But if you want to, you can send it in a message or mail. Everything you need is right there just to get it onto your computer. So I'm gonna get this over to my computer, and I'll pick up with you guys when I'm back on my computer with the design. And just like that, we've got our design right on our computer right now. As you can see, it has the transparent background, so when we zoom out, there's no background on this. We can put it on any color shirt. And then as we zoom in, you can see that the quality of this design is actually really good. So you guys are probably thinking, well, that's all you have to do for designing to sell them on Teespring? Well, yes and no. You see those steps that we went through prior to this? Well, there's a couple more important steps that are coming up after this. So we have our design now, so I'm going to head over to Teespring and we're going to start the uploading process and what comes after that. So let's come right over to Teespring, and what we're going to do is hit start designing. And in the Teespring launcher, just as a side note, if you ever run into any glitches on launching a product, because Teespring is updating this launcher almost daily, so sometimes there's small little glitches, you can just hit this button, switch to Classic Experience, and it brings you back to the old launcher, and then everything works flawlessly there. But what we're going to do is put this on a t-shirt, so we're going to go with a unisex shirt. This makes the market a little bit bigger. You have both men and women, both can wear it, so we'll start with this, and you can choose the quality of the shirt. Now this doesn't matter all that much. The only time that this really matters is if you're creating a legitimate clothing brand. Most of the time, people are just creating shirts for passive income online, and if that's the case, you can go with a classic tee. It keeps your margins a bit bigger. It's only $10.22 is your base cost, so if you're selling that at $20, you're going to make about $9.78 per shirt sale. Now, if you're creating a legitimate clothing brand where people are going to be wearing this, they're going to be reviewing this, and quality is an issue, then you're going to want to go with at least a premium tee or up. Now, it's a couple dollars more per shirt, so if you're selling it at $20, you only make about $6 as opposed to almost $10, but it's worth it. People will associate that quality of shirt, that nice soft feel, to your clothing brand. So if you're building a big brand, definitely go with at least a premium shirt or above. If you're doing this just for passive income, then you can go with a classic tee. It's very easy. It keeps your margins high, and the quality on this really isn't that bad, but it's not something that you would rave to your friends about. So we're going to go with start designing, and you can either buy it or sell it. If you're creating this for yourself, you can actually buy it and buy it at cost, which is pretty nice, but we are here to sell it. And now we're in the designer. So all we have to do here is add an image and select that file right off of our computer. Just wait for this to upload, and now we have our design right on our shirt. So as you know, we made that design bigger so we could get better quality, and because of that, the design is actually really big, so it's probably a little bit too big than you'd want to put on a shirt. So we're going to make it a bit smaller, making the quality go up even more. As you can see, as you go smaller than that, this good will turn to great, meaning that your design is going to be printed amazingly. But we don't want to go that small, so we're just going to go about this big right here. Something that looks like it would be a good fit on a shirt, not too big, but not too small. So there's really no guideline or specific rule on this. Just make sure that it's not overly big or too small where you can't see it. So that's it. That's our design on our shirt right there. And then we're just going to add in a couple other product colors. I recommend you don't go too crazy on the product colors because then you give people paralysis by analysis. See, that's another really important thing is if you turn on all these color options, people will sit here and not know if they want this green or this green over here. They will have too many options. If you give them one green, if they want a green shirt, they'll pick that one green. If you give them too many options, they'll start to overthink it, and chances are they might navigate away from the page and not complete the purchase. So what I've been doing lately is going with 5 colors or less. And just keep in mind that you have a black text, so you're not going to want to put that on a black shirt because it won't show up right. So we're going to go with a white, a blue, a red, green, and maybe we'll add in a pink for ladies as well. So this is our color options right here. That's 5 core colors that people can choose from, and that's going to be our color selection. Let's hit done here. And then another big thing we need to worry about is the price. So what I've actually found out is I've tested low prices, trying to get high volume in sales, and high prices, knowing that I'm not going to get as many sales but bigger profit margins. And using the prices just about what they recommend them yields the most profit. So at the end of the day, whether you're getting 20 sales or 2 sales, whatever gives you the most profit is the best option. So using something like this $21.99, I'll actually lower this to $19.99 to make it a little bit more affordable. We're still gonna make about $10 per sale, but we're a couple dollars less than what they recommend. Most people coming on here might just use the recommended. So you're beating them by a couple dollars. That gives you a little bit of a leg up when you're selling. Just don't go too low because you're not going to make your money back in the margins even if you sell a lot of volume. And don't go too high because you're rarely going to get sales even though you might make about $20 per sale. So I recommend staying in the middle. Trust me, I've tested this and this has yielded the most profit. So that's what I recommend on price here. Let's go ahead and continue. Okay, on to another important step here. This is actually adding products onto your shirt. So as you go into these, you can add on different products within that same category. So this would be very similar to a shirt, it's just a nicer quality shirt. I do not recommend doing that, so X out of that. All I recommend doing is maybe adding on 1 or 2 other products that make sense. And by make sense, I mean like this. This is not going to make sense. You can't read that. It cuts it off. So we're not going to use either of these. But what I will use is a sweatshirt and a tank top. Both of those make sense. So we'll come into the sweatshirt and we'll pick one of these. 1 per category. You don't want to choose multiple sweatshirts. You're just going to confuse people. So we'll go with the classic pullover hoodie because it's still affordable and it has the biggest profit margin on it. So we'll select that. And then we'll X back out of here. And then we'll come into tank top. And again here, I'm just going to go with the classic. So we'll turn that on. Now remember, if you're a full-fledged clothing brand or company, you might want to choose higher options on the other products that you add on, so you have that better quality no matter what they buy. So that's all we're going to do here is 3 options. You have the classic tee for just a t-shirt, you have a pullover hoodie if they're in a colder climate or colder time of the year, and then you have a tank top if they're in summer. So you have 3 big options, and again, you're not giving people paralysis by analysis or putting in products that just don't make sense. So that's what we're going to do here. Let's go ahead and hit continue. And now onto a really important part here. So simply put, Teespring is amazing because they do a ton of marketing for you. However, they will not market your shirts or feature them if they are spammy and it's not something they want to put their reputation behind. So make sure that we keep this very clean. And I'm going to walk you through this right now. So for the title, don't put in shirt or tank top or whatever kind of item it is, because remember you have 3 different items on there. We have a t-shirt, we have a sweatshirt, and we have a tank top. So if we were to put in yoga shirt, if someone's looking at a tank top, that no longer makes sense, so Teespring's not going to like that. So what I always recommend doing is using one of 3 ways to optimize this. So looking at Teespring's examples, they have 3 really good ways on how to optimize it. So you can go with keywords in a non-spammy way right in the title, you can go with what's on the shirt, or you can go with something that's really going to show up in Google searches. Now for something like our design over here, the one that I see best fit right now would be talking about what's on the shirt. I don't think I want to use multiple keywords here, and I don't think it would make sense to do a Google optimized title right here, so I'm just going to go with what's on the shirt. This is always a good option, so if you're making a shirt and it makes sense to use one of these other ones, then absolutely do. You're not going to be wrong with whatever one of the 3 you choose here. These are all optimized titles. So I'm just going to use what is on the shirt. So we're going to do yoga, I'm so down. And that's going to be our title right here. This is not spammy. It's talking about what's on the shirt. Teespring will absolutely promote this or feature it and put their name behind it because that's not a spammy title. We're not saying yoga I'm so down limited edition, buy it now, not going to be sold in stores, anything like that. They won't promote that. And then coming down to the description, we can come back over here and reference these as well. But I've actually made a description that works extremely well, and I'll offer that to you guys if you want to use it as well. I'm going to put a link to this shirt, which is actually one of the other shirts that I used as an example, but this is the description that you can use here. So I'm giving you permission to copy this and come over to your launcher and paste it here, and then fill out the details with something that makes sense for you. So it's kind of like a fill in the blank, and I'll show you where those fill in the blank areas are. So this is going to be a noun here, so add some fun. Yeah, that makes sense. Yoga I'm so down, it's a funny shirt. So you can say add some fun here. You can put in different nouns here depending on what kind of shirt you're making. So fun makes sense. Yoga wardrobe, that definitely makes sense. If you're in like a fishing niche, you could say fishing wardrobe, whatever niche you are here. With this funny, again, because it's a funny shirt, and then you put in the name of what the shirt is. So down. Now, since we're offering multiple items here, we might not want to say yoga shirt. So on this, I'm going to say yoga design. And that way it stays relevant and it doesn't contradict to what we're offering. So we have a yoga shirt, we have a hoodie, and we have a tank top. So I'm going to put yoga design because that remains true. It's a yoga design on all 3 of these. And then the last part there is or give it as a perfect gift. So maybe this makes them think of someone else who could want this. And if it's around their birthday or a holiday, it makes them think of purchasing it as a gift for them. And then the last part of this is just the call to action. Choose your size and color below, then buy it now to place your order. Now, capitalizing buy it now is actually okay. It's under the borderline of staying spammy while at the same time increasing conversions. So this is an excellent description. And like I said, I give you permission to copy it from that campaign and put it into your own, and make sure that you don't forget to fill in the blanks and customize it so it makes sense for your design. And then a couple more things here that are pretty important. This is the first color that you're going to see when someone's scrolling through when they see this in the marketplace. So we can edit this and change it to whatever color we think looks really good. And this blue looks really good. It's that dark color on the blue, and this blue actually sells really well. So I'm going to use that as our first one just to catch people's attention as they're scrolling through the marketplace. And then if you want to, you can change the URL. It's completely up to you. You might get a slight, very, very small search engine optimization boost by putting your keywords in here, but we already have yoga in here once, so that's going to be the keyword. I'm going to leave it exactly how it is. Now, I'm not going to add this to a storefront right now. I'm just going to launch this campaign. If you want to know how to use storefronts, because you can use them to your advantage, I have a full tutorial called How to Get Your First Sales on Teespring, and that covers this storefront in detail. So feel free to check that out if you want to. And then the last thing here, guys, is just hit to publish listing. And when you finish this up, you're going to have your live listing right here. It's optimized, it's ready to go. This is something that someone will buy on Teespring. So now you have this listing ready to go, optimized, and just go through this process, creating another listing, and just create as many of these as you can. Ideally, you want to have a couple hundred designs on here. Good designs, optimized properly, no spam, and priced right, and you will have no problems selling consistently on Teespring. So guys, that's all I've got for you. That covers all the steps you need to know on how to create designs that sell on Teespring. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I really hope this video has helped you. That was a lot of really good stuff in one video. Feel free to reference this if you need to watch it again or go back and get a specific step again, but once you watch this through once, you should be able to just apply the same thing over and over again into your future campaigns and see a lot of sales coming from it. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and I will see you all in the next one. Hi everyone, and welcome to this full print-on-demand tutorial for beginners. As I was scrolling through YouTube and even looking at my other print-on-demand videos, I realized that there wasn't one video that goes from start to finish covering everything step by step. So that's what today's video is going to be. Hi everyone, I hope you're all having a great day so far. If you're new here,